Hi guys, this is Donna with Rovks, and I want to welcome everybody back to this week's project. I want to start off by saying thank you to everybody who has supported our channel. It has encouraged us to do more videos, and those of you who are new to our channel, thank you for coming, and I hope that you can like and subscribe so that you will be the first ones to be notified as soon as the new videos come out. We will be giving this rock away like we always do. You'll need to comment under this video after you subscribe in order to be put into the drawing. We're starting to get quite a few people in the drawing, so please make sure that you like and subscribe and then put a comment underneath the video. So I do want to apologize. There's a little bit of shaking at the beginning of this video. I didn't realize that my tripod was sitting too close to the table. So when I would touch the table while I was painting, it was shaking my tripod. So I do apologize. It gets better towards the end of the video. So this is our Fisherman Gnome. And he was a really quick little painting. I thought he was going to be more difficult than he was. So definitely a beginner or intermediate painting. I would say the only thing that makes him have any difficulty at all is there's quite a bit of shading that I did on him. I did not put down all of the different colors that I used. So I'd like to take this moment just to give you the color scheme that was used on this one. You can use any color scheme that you have available to you. I used camel for the hat. I guess it would be his base color. And then I shaded in with the dark brown. Of course, I used white and black. I always use those. The nose is camel with baby pink and a little bit of engine red. And then the shirt is engine red and black. And then, of course, I just used black and white for his beard. His shoes, I also used the camel and then shaded it with black and with dark brown. So pretty simple color scheme. Please feel free to mix it up any place you want. Those happen to be the colors that I had on hand. It's also the colors that I thought would match his decor, I guess you could say, the best. So that's what I wound up using. He wound up being a really fast painting, I think, because there's not a lot of extra freehand that needs to be done. Again, he's a very basic gnome. You just got to get that shading on the hat. Get your lights across those top edges, and then make sure you get your darks around the front edge of the top of the hat. That will give it the shading that shows that that hat is going around a corner. So make sure you get that in. The brim of the hat is really a longer brim, much more so than the little hats that I did around Christmas time. So that is why I shaded that nose so much more than I would otherwise. I did a little bit of shading up underneath the hat around his beard. I did go with more of a mustache beard this time, but I also left him a little grayer than normal instead of just the white beard. His shirt and pants are a checkerboard pattern. And then I went with a lighter colored glove for his hands, mostly because I used such a dark rock. I wanted something that was going to show up a little bit better. So that's what we used with that. I didn't have to really use any dotting tools on this one. I was hoping I had ordered in some resin to start putting a little bit of resin on some of my rocks. It has not gotten here yet. I'm not sure what's going on. It's slow. And so I probably am not going to get this rock resined up before I send it out to whoever draws it. But If I don't get resin on it, of course it will be sprayed. So it should be fine to be outside if that's where it winds up going. Um, let's see, what else did I use? Oh, I want to put a little bit of a plug in one more time on the brushes. I call them Benesi brushes, and I will put a link in the description for them. I'll tell you, I think I'm going on about 3 weeks of using them now, and I really like these brushes. They're comfortable, they're holding up well. I'm not losing bristles. The one brush that I use a lot, which is my very, very, very thin, short detail brush, I use it on everything. It is starting to get a tiny uh, little bit of a turn at the end of the brush tips. That usually to me means that it's starting to wear down from the hard surface of the rocks because I use it so much. But my set came with, I think, 3 in that size, and so I'll just deviate and use one of the others once this one gets to the point that I feel like that those bristles aren't holding enough of a shape for me. But right now it's still good. I think I've got at least I bet I've got another month out of it before I have to do that. Um, Paint wise, these are the same paints I've been using. It's the folk art paints. You can get them at any craft store. You can get them at Hobby Lobby. You can get them at Home Depot. Just about any place that you can get craft supplies, you can get those paints. At some point I may go to a more expensive paint, but I just don't see the need. These paints seem to hold up. They don't seem to be better or worse than anything else. I'm not, doing anything in any type of professional realm, so I don't see why I need to go with any type of a paint that's more expensive than what I'm using. So, I like the folk art. You can get a bottle for under $2, and it lasts. I seem to, wind up with about half of the paint I put out I use, and about half of the paint I put out winds up drying up because I finish the project before I use it all up. So there's no sense in using an expensive paint. There's several people I have had communication with in a couple of the groups back and forth talking about the rocks. Again, my rocks come from 3 places. One, they either get picked up in the nature, or 2, I pick them up in Home Depot or Lowe's in the garden center. You can buy rocks there for under $15. Or 3, the third place would be you can order them off of Amazon. I was not very impressed with the rocks that I got from Amazon. Shipping is very expensive, so let's start with that. Second of all, I just didn't feel like there was that many rocks that were paintable. For the amount of money I spent with shipping and for the product, there wasn't that many good rocks in the bag. So I get a much better variety when I do the garden center rocks. I have not gone to a landscaping place yet, so I apologize. I've heard from a lot of people that that's what they do. I just haven't needed to yet. So I pick up the white rocks, which are, I think they're like a Caribbean pebble, I think is what they're called, something like that. And then there's the beach pebble that I get that's a darker color as well. Both bags, I get them at Home Depot. Both bags are less than $20. I think they're around 15. It's been a little while since I bought them. And, you get an assortment. You get some good flat ones that are great to paint on. You get some that really are not the nice, flat, typical rock that you want to, to paint like on my videos or anything like that. So those I usually paint to hide. You get the very small ones, which I do other projects with. And then you get the broken ones, which I'm going to show you a new project in probably another month or so. I want to collect a few more broken ones, and we're going to do some fun projects with that. So, with that being said, if you're following me, and I really hope that you do, go through your rocks and separate them out, because I would like to do some projects for each type of rock. And that way you're not, you don't have rocks that you don't have a use for. So I go through my bags of rocks and I've got them separated out in boxes. I have my little tiny, like, quarter, $half size rocks, that's in one box. And then I've got the ones that are super oblong, weird, got all these dips and crevices in. I put those in another box. Then I put my broken ones in another box. And then I put my beautiful, perfect, round, flat, smooth rocks in another box. And there's a purpose for each one. And so I'd like to get around to doing some projects with each one so that you see there's never a rock wasted, ever. Like, I can find a million reasons to use a rock, whether it's to give away, whether it's to use to make a project that's a little outside of the box of just painting your rocks. It doesn't matter. There's so many things you can do with these rocks. And, I hope that when you talk about your rocks and you're talking about painting them, I hope you get as excited as I get it with it. And I hope that you are painting rocks, no matter what they look like. I really hope that you are painting rocks. And I hope that you're taking them out there and leaving them for people to find and to enjoy. It is really amazing when you hand somebody a rock. I had somebody come by my house the other day for something completely, it had nothing to do with rocks. I had all my giveaway rocks sitting in the living room on a table, and I could see this person looking them over, and I'm like, take a couple. They're like, oh no, I couldn't do that. I'm like, no, take a couple, please. So this person picked one out for their grandchild and one for their daughter, and you would have thought I'd given them a treasure. So please, paint these rocks up and give them away and give somebody a smile on their face. Gosh, they're just, especially if you're out just gathering rocks, these things are free to put a smile on someone's face. Let's look back at our little gnome here. I did put a fishing pole on with his hat. I didn't decorate this guy up too much. I actually was thinking about on his other arm putting like a stringer of fish or something like that. I'll probably do another one of these in, maybe the next couple of weeks. And when I do, I may add some different things to it. Every rock I do is different. I have not got my Shopify up and running yet, but I am getting orders, a lot of orders. So I am trying to use Vimo. I'm going to get an account with PayPal so that I can use PayPal. And so if there's a rock that you like that I've painted and you want something just a little bit different, give me a holler. You can use my Facebook account. You can get a hold of me in the comments of my video. It doesn't matter. Either way, you'll be able to get a hold of me. And if I can't do it, or I think that it's like, oh yeah, I don't think I can do that, I will be honest with you and I will tell you. I also paint my rocks, and then I send pictures, make sure that you like it before I actually ship it and take the money. So I just want to let you guys know that if there's something out there that you like and you would like to put in an order, please give me a holler. Right now I'm running about As of last night, with the new orders that I got in, I'm running about between 12 and 15 days right now from when you order one. So I'll get it done as quickly as I can. I'm basically putting out 2 videos a week, trying to put out orders, doing the editing. I have a job, a family. So there's a lot involved. I would love to do nothing but paint, but that's not in the cards for me. So, on top of that, we are renovating 3 rooms in our house. So we've got a massive construction zone within the house. Dining room, living room, and full kitchen. So there's a lot going on in the house right now. But yeah, give me a holler if there's something specific that you want. If it's something completely out of the ordinary that I haven't done before, I'm probably going to do it and put it in a video. I'll probably do 2 rocks. That way I can give one away and the other one I'll send off to you. So anyways, we've just about got this little guy done. I did want to give him the nice full beard. I did want to put in a pretty good little mustache on him. And I did him on a dark rock, knowing that his hat was going to have so much light to it, that I wanted to make sure that that hat stood out. My white rocks, or once they've got the silver on them, they're actually kind of almost an eggshell color. You have to be careful what you put on that, because it will blend in once you put the sealer on. So I have to make sure that whatever I put on, it's going to be a really dark color, so it really pulls that edges out when I seal it. And I guess that's something that, I've talked about in some of my other videos, but we can talk about it again. Be very careful. You might do this beautiful rock and you love it and it looks great, because this has happened to me. And then you seal it and it just blends into its background and you lose all of your definition, all of your edges, all of that timely shading that you put in, all that effort, it just blends into your rock. So be very careful, Make sure that you really put some thought into that prior to picking which rock you're going to do. Now, my last video, I actually did one on a light rock and a dark rock, and they both turned out okay because of the colors that I used on the gnome. So I was all right. This rock that I'm using here it's kind of a granite color. It's got some white in the background a little bit. So I'm able to pull those reds out of it so that the reds were not quite too dark. So yeah, just be careful with it. And the best thing that you can do, take your rock and run it underwater. When you run it underwater, that's what it's going to look like when you seal it. And it'll give you that definite understanding of what it's going to look like when you go to put the sealer on it. Even knowing that, I have still messed up a few things because I've put something on too dark of a rock. I've got a llama that I put on a real light colored rock. That little guy too kind of blended into the light rock. I haven't shown you guys that one yet. He's really adorable, but I'd like to put him now on a dark rock and see how he looks, because there is a lot of white and a lot of tan on him. So just be careful when you're picking out your rocks. I like to do a combination of rocks. I don't do all dark rocks, all light rocks. I like to work on something different all the time. And I think we've talked about this as well. On my desk, I have, let me look right now. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 7 rocks that have been started on my desk. And the reasoning for that is when I sit down and paint, I want to be able to paint for at least a couple of hours. Some of these projects, you need things to dry in between stages. I especially as beard, I like to have my darker colors underneath dry before I start putting my light colors on. There's some blending that you don't mind, but you don't want all of it to blend. You want to keep those dark colors on the back side. It gives your wisps of hair, the light colored ones, it gives them real definition, and you can see the ends of the hair, which really brings that picture out when you're able to put that dark behind it. So with that being said, you want those darks to dry. So since I want to stay at my desk and paint, I will set my rock aside while that piece is drying, and I'll work on one of my other rocks. If you are in the same predicament where when you sit down, that's the only time you're going to be able to paint, so you want to get the most out of it, I suggest it's a great way to be productive in the time that you're at your desk. So like I said, I have at least five projects running at all times on my desk, and I'll just take out some more paints, another palette, and I will start working on that. We've only talked about palettes once. I do have a palette that I purchased that's got the little dips and holes in it and everything. But I never fill those to the rim with paint. I just use it kind of to separate. So I started keeping the butter lids off of the big 1 pound butter containers, or off of the big 1 pound sour cream containers, anything plastic that comes off of one of those big containers. I've started keeping those lids, and I've got a stack of them next to my desk, and that's what I use to put my paints on. They're easy to clean up. Okay, guys, I told you the sky was super fast. Have a great week, and I'll see you again. Bye.